traders, if you look at my channel in the Dow with these monthly pivots, you can see we are still on course for at least a retest of 664. I thought we might even get that today. If we can break that, then we might possibly get to the top of that channel, which you can't see at the moment. So let's just narrow this down. Let's pull right back and narrow this down. On the 1 hour chart, we had this support held, massive support, 134.45 area. Held it into, so we sold off into the, as we got towards the open. And where are we? Yeah, so by the time we had opened up, we got to pull back to that area of support there. This was the major support here based on this price action here. So a lot of touches, So this was channeling up. Got a little, so we pulled right back to support. We held into the open, so I bought this level down here, held it into the close, and got a nice move. Okay, but if you scan right back down to the pivots, I'll need my other chart for that. Tidy this one up. In intraday pivots, we saw into the close, we saw this S1 hold. We saw we bust up through. This is a daily pivot here. Bust up through it. We struggled here and most of into the doldrums. Bust up as we started coming out of the doldrums, pull back. Look at the 50 EMA and the 200 getting bought here. So this is a great place, just as a daily pivot held, great place to get in, hold it into the close, and there was a major resistance level up there. This is R1. I was hoping to see if we get to R2. We didn't, but we got. This was my exit signal. You know, a high RSI, high stochastic. So I don't need stochastics. So it's a nice little added extra. I could trade without that, no problem. I don't tend to pay too much attention to it, but it's there. I'll leave it. I'm used to having it. So that's what I did in that one. In the oil, I only did very little in the oil today. Very little. What did I do? I traded this short here into this pivot here, and then I left it because I then realised there was a split in the contracts. This contract is the new one, but the February one is still quite active. So there's a lot of, so we just went straight up into this area of resistance again, drifted lower and drifted lower. But I just left it. I don't like trading a very thin market like that. But I had too much else to that I was watching and trading as well. Pound and US dollar and pound yen. A very tricky day. Very tricky day. Well, I found it tricky anyway. Maybe you didn't. There was a lot of resistance here. We had a good close, you know, close above 50%. So that close above 50% got me interested in that. But we closed a little bit lower into after the data, and then we just dropped. We just fell through the floor. We broke this trend line, came right back down to weekly support, what's become weekly support, moved back up into the resistance area and moved back down again. So you know, that was just one little box there, one 60-point box. So very difficult to trade. I was looking for this to, I was long from here yesterday. Took this long here, had a stop down here, got the stop to break even, and I didn't expect to get stopped out. In fact, at one stage I think I added to my position up here with a tight stop, so took a little bit of a nick out of my account there, and then gave profits back there. So the pound US dollar for me was rubbish today. I did, however, get something out of the pound yen. I didn't trade this to the short side, but I did take this hammer here. So 68 points up at the moment. But I'll talk to you in more detail about the yen at the moment. Right, so that's my trades today. So let's look at. I'm concerned that we may be looking at a top in the yen. This is the pound yen, but the other yens are relevant as well. So we've had ever since we've hit this monthly R1, we've been printing lower lows. We've hit support and we've held that support so far. But if I'm right, and this we've closed below the 8 for the first time in a week. But if we continue to come off of this R1 and we see the yen getting bought, then we could be in a position where a lot of asset classes will get sold into as well. But to be honest, right now these markets are a little hard to call because I talked about that 60-point box that the pound was in today. This 160, let's take that off, let's tidy that up. Right, so all I've got on this chart now is the pivots plus this support and resistance, this major 158 and 163. So we're slopping around in this area at the moment, and we're getting a very untidy chart here. We're under the 50 EMA. We've had 3 lower closes. That little bar in there is the Sunday open and close. But we are holding S1, the monthly S1 at the moment. So for this to get back into bullish mode, we need to close above. We've got to close above 161 tomorrow. So not easy chart. So if this is selling, if this can't hold now, and this pound is going to break this trend line here, so I can't draw trend lines with this pen, can I? If this trend line here breaks, so I smack on the trend line here. If that breaks, then that pound's in trouble, and we're going to see the bottom of this box again, which would take us right down close to S3. You may even see us touch S3 again. So difficult trading conditions. The 4 hour doesn't tell us that much more either, really. That's just showing just how sideways it is. So this morning, I was bullish the pound this morning. A, because I was long with my hammer from Monday, but B, because of the fact the S1 was holding, and I was looking for this to get tested. So the pound has got a lot to do now. I can take this line away because we're right in an apex. So it looks as if we're going to mess around between 160 and 160, 150 before we get some kind of decision out of this. But I have to be honest, I'm erring more on the bearish side. We have that drop, pull back, drop. So we may get some kind of pullback into the here before we drop out of there. And we are effectively heading to fiscal cliff version 2, because the fiscal cliff was not resolved. It was the main decision making was postponed. So I'm going to leave that with that there, and that there. So there's something of you could say there seems to be something of apex now. Whichever way we close around this monthly S1 tomorrow is going to be a key decision. Okay. And if we look at the pound yen, the pound yen is potentially better. We've got, we came down to this major level of support here. We then put in a nice blue bar, then put in a little hammer-like bar, and then we're trying to break above 270 now. So the 4 hour is suggesting that there is some more juice in this one, in the pound yen. Quickly to the euro yen. What I'm trying to say is, I have not got a clear fix on this market at the moment, and you certainly will struggle to swing trade it. So that's holding. 132.85 is holding, but that, we've had a lot of selling. So I mean, for the euro to hang on here, we tested the daily 8 at the low today. We've had a new high in the daily and a close below the day after. And if I tidy that up, you can see new high, a close below next day, and we're sitting on major support 1133. So I think we can expect more selling. Got a little sort of another channel coming into play there, which we have just topped at. So a retest of 13130 and possibly even 130 is looking more likely on the cards. So I would now short 133.35 to see if we can start to close lower. And what we're getting now this is the US dollar Swissy. So this has busted out of, this has come off of this major 91 support over the weekend and bust up a couple of hundred points into 91.36. 92.70 is a major support area. We've got the 200 EMA up here, so we've crashed into the R1 and we've got the daily 200 EMA up there. So that's, now I don't like trading charts between the 50 and the 200. So I'm going to back off of that one, but this is showing you the strength in the dollar, and this is the US dollar CAD, still sideways. So the Swissy is very, very weak, and the US dollar CAD is sideways. The Canadian currency is strong. This is CAD yen. That's obviously a new high and a lower close, but this CAD Swissy is looking very, very much like the US dollar Swissy, and I'm still in this one. Unfortunately I got stopped out on a smaller account I trade, but managed to keep my stop. I accidentally moved my stop too close on the smaller account, so that's very frustrating, but at least I am making money out of this. 94.30 is a major pullback area. We've crashed right through the 200 EMA up here. So you can see this a huge support level. If I take all this off and put this support down here, that's what we, that pivot level has picked up a fantastic level of support. That's what they're there for. That monthly pivot has spring loaded that one into being way back into play. So the CAD is very strong. Right, other key charts out there. Let's have a look at the pound Aussie dollar. Nothing doing. It's just not doing it. It's got massive support there. Huge support. I would love if that closes above 152.65. I mean, but at the moment it's low RSI. But it reminds me very much of the pattern we had this time last year, which was, I can't show you at the moment, or can I? Yeah, this was this time last year here. We spent January, February, March in a bit of a mess, but as soon as we broke 148.40, we charged up to 160.7, 161.70, or close to 162. So I'm looking to see if this can do the same. Euro pound has climbed significantly, which is a bit of a pain, as I'm having to make sure my son is in bread and water in Paris. That's at the top of the channel now. New high, close above. So this is showing you the overall strength of the pound. I've got very overbought here. It's such a slow mover, and that's taken a couple of weeks to do 100 points. Sorry, 200 points. From this pivot here, monthly pivot 81.27, we're now 83.16. Euro CAD was doing okay. It's had a good run, now come off. Nice reversal bar up there. Swiss EM has nothing to do on that one. Aussie US, we haven't looked at the Aussie US. So this is why the pound Aussie dollar is not doing too well at the moment, because this Aussie is threatening to break out. The Aussie and the CAD are commodity related and tend to be something of a safe haven as well. For some reason that's not drawing. But if I hold that there, you can see, well, that's the first major test of the high. So this 103.86 was bought. Not a great chart though. 4 hours okay. Not a great chart. Trapped under a lot of resistance up there. Oil, new high, close below. I think this is going to come down to at least 90 and possibly lower. We might see a full retest of 85. I think that oil's had it short term. Once the new contract comes in, I will tomorrow I will start trading that. Gold's had a good day on the other hand. So that's a buy at 16.74. This hammer's taken a long time to work, but that's a decent close now. 16.74 is good in gold. And I think we can get up to R1 and possibly up to this R2. And that's it. Now I'm going to go through some UK stocks. Excite is coming off. Vodafone is just about closed the gap, almost closed the gap. So that R2 was a big struggle for it. It closed that gap from 12th November. Hand light bar here, so if you're in this, just sit tight, just stay with it, because if that can hold, start to close above that, then it can still do something. Tesco's, that's not good. That was shortable up there. That was from 355. there's a trend line coming down here to 340. So quick scan through. Sainsbury's weak. Wow, massive support there at 316. Huge support. Struggle with that monthly R1. Could be coming down to that 311. So despite that strong FTSE close, a lot of weak charts showing up. Rolls holding okay. Premier Foods. That'd be great. I'd love to see that at 110 again. Morrison's could be bottoming. That could be bottoming. RSI is very low. Not done that well. Watch out. That closes above 255. That's a buy. M&S struggling. Lloyd's. That's a short. That breaks 50. That's very extended up there. If that breaks 54, I would look for at least 50. This one just keeps going. Lamb. Right, General. Holding its own. Potential stopping bar. Just give that a bit more time to see if that can drop further, give me a better price. Eurasian on fire. Centamin struggling at R1. That's massive resistance up there. I think I might take that one off. Beast Sky having a good time. Closed above a lot of resistance. If you see 782, that's a buy. That's it. That's definitely a buy. Alpha BT holding its own. Weak, but that R1 monthly R1 is holding well. So if it can, and BG's had a great day. I said on Sunday I expect to see 1070 this week, and here we are at 1075. Hold on, if you're not in it, that is a buy at 1065. Alright, I'll leave it there. So look at some US stocks. RIM. A couple of big days and we are taking a breather. No significant. That's holding its own very, very well. NUAN. That closes above 23.43. That's going to go. Goldman's sideways. Facebook dropped. Watch out for Facebook if we see 28. Is the next level. If we break this trend line down here, that would take us right down to about 27, which is the main pivot. I would look for 27. Bank of America, no. Baidu, no. Apple. This is the problem. Look at Apple. This says a lot about what's going on when a stock like Apple can fall from $700 to 485. At the moment, that's just broken below a key fib level as well. So, yeah, this is a huge, significant part. This is a dragging the Nasdaq down. In fact, let's have a look at the Nasdaq. this is the issue. This Nasdaq is struggling. So that the Nasdaq is potentially telling us that this market is not happy up here. That's 2 days lower closes. So we've got a bullish close on the Dow, but the tech stocks coming off. That's a concern. That really is a concern. And with the yen getting bought and weakness in the dollar pairs, in other words, the dollar getting bought and the gold coming up, that's the last time we saw this kind of situation. Is back to the initial credit crunch days when the gold was convergent with the dollar. So we're seeing a lot of the safe havens bought here. So I will be looking. As now we've hit this major level of resistance up here, I will be looking to see if this is going to short. Okay, I'll just leave that there. This is the highs of 18th of October that we've reached today, but there are some worrying signs. I think we are heading for a decent correction at some stage, and we could just be about finding those levels. Alright, so I'd be very, very cautious of what's going on. I'm very, very keen on shorting that euro tomorrow to see if that can come down, and the kind of, so you can see if we can get some movements back to this resistance level, and this is the 60-minute chart, then I would want to see if that can come all the way down here again. Okay, so I am turning a fair bit more bearish on this market at the moment, despite that Dow close. Just be very, very wary. Okay, so I do hope that helps, and see you in the next update.